and smile, 'cause it's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I stopped so you could hold me. But this child awaits, strong in the faith. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to, 'cause I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by without thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life. And ooh, there's something about the way your sunshine.
So we're gonna let this play.
It's a love so true I can
Never get enough of you.
This feeling can't be wrong.
I'm about to get my worship on.
Take me away.
It's a beautiful day.
Yes.
All right.
It's a beautiful day.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it
Welcome to Face with Gerald and Regina, where we give different perspectives on real life issues with transparency. Better yet, we just keep it raw. So we
As
thank
much
you.
as we
We
possibly
appreciate
can.
those that support us. We thank you for tuning in. And we are excited. We are excited because we have a special guest. I love her spirit. And the topic today will be self-awareness. But do you need exposure?
If you need exposure.
Go ahead, Gerald.
Yes. If you need exposure, listen, let us help you out. Let us help you out. If you don't have a flyer, reach out to me or Regina, or else you can inbox us on the face-to-face page and we'll get you a flyer going. Now that's the part that's going to cost you. It's not going to cost very much, but it will cost you something. But if you need exposure, you have a business, you have a church, you have a ministry, you whatever it is that you got that you feel like you need more exposure on, or else if you want to be a guest on the show, reach out to us and let us know. And if you have a topic, you got a topic you want us to more expound on, let us know. And we'll dive right off into it. But we're gonna tell the truth though. All right?
I don't think Gerald think I was going to do that. So thank you so much.
No, I wasn't ready for that. No, I wasn't ready for it.
I was like, he wasn't ready.
And I tell you
what.
I think I've been out of the studio maybe almost a month, maybe 2 months.
Gerald. Okay.
I hadn't been back in the studio in almost maybe a month and maybe 2 months, just out business and ministry, stuff like that.
That's
But
understandable.
anyway, God is good and He's very faithful. All right.
Amen.
Now, you ready to get started?
Well, he said you can get in contact with us on face-to-face, but then also you can email him on glperson76@gmail.com, or you
Yes.
can email us facepodcast21@gmail.com. And then also we are on YouTube, so please subscribe, like, and share, and just comment. That's it. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And it is
Yes.
over the hands of Gerald.
So we have a very special guest in the studio with us today. I'm going to tell you something. This young lady, she's known for telling the truth. She's known for telling the truth. And sometimes, you know how it is. Sometimes truth can get us in trouble sometimes because people don't like truth.
Yeah.
But I said, but she shared something with us before the show started. She says, if I don't tell you the truth, if you finna get ready to fall off the cliff, then you can't say didn't nobody tell me the truth. So I'm gonna turn it right to her and allow her to introduce herself.
Well, hello, my name is Rosalind Davis, and I am a personal development life coach. I am a speaker, and I'm also I am a fitness coach. I help those that are ready to get fit over 45, those that are over 45 and ready to get fit. So my name is Rosalind Davis, and I am super excited that Gerald just reached out. I asked him to do a few things for me, and he just turned around and he said, hey, why not join us on the show? And then you can come and share some things with us. So I am
right.
very, very appreciative that I've been given this opportunity to come and share with you today. And as it's already been stated, we have a powerful topic that we're going to cover today. So Gerald, back to you.
Amen. Listen. I heard something in her voice. I heard some power.
Yeah, power. I
I heard some power. I heard a gift in her voice. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone.
No,
Because this ain't the prophetic Gerald.
It's not.
It's not the prophetic Gerald. This just Gerald.
But it's the flow.
But it's the flow of it. So
can I piggyback on that?
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Radio podcast.
Radio podcast.
Radio podcast. I can hear that. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it.
I
can
I'm
hear
trying
it.
not to. I can hear.
Can I tell y'all something?
Sure.
Several years ago, God told me, He said, I need you to get camera ready. He said, I need you to get camera ready. It wasn't so much about me, being up on a stage or anything like that, but He said, but I need you in front of a camera.
Really?
And He had told me that several years ago, and He said, you're going to impact people's lives from that place. You don't even have to go out. He said, because it's going to be carried over the airwaves.
Yes.
He said, but I need you to get camera ready. So I'm on the camera.
That's
and
right.
Guess what?
That's
I'm
right.
ready today.
That's right. That's right. So we're gonna get ready to dive right into this topic, and that was good. I like what you just shared. I like that. I like that. So we're gonna get ready to dive right into this topic, and the topic is self-awareness. Self-awareness.
All right. I'll wait for you to go right on in. And you know how we do.
This is just fly the seat of our pants sometimes.
So you know how we do it. We just got to give you a definition before we delve right into it. So, and I just went into a dictionary. So I have self-awareness is the ability to perceive and understand the things that make you who you are as an individual, including your personality, actions, values, beliefs, emotions, and thoughts. Essentially, self-awareness is a psychological state in which the self becomes the focus of attention. While it is central to your identity, it is not something you are acutely focused on at every moment of every day. Instead of self-awareness becomes woven into the fabric of who you are and emerges at different points depending on the situation in your personality.
Woven.
So
What does woven mean? I'm from Oak Cliff. I ain't that smart, y'all. Woven. No, I'm just messing. I know what it means. I know what it means. I'm just clowning. I'm just clowning around.
So y'all can expound on that.
So Miss Rosalind, you want to go ahead and step
Yes,
in?
ma'am.
Absolutely. I've said that definition is definitely a broad definition, and and it covered so many different areas of our lives to help people to have an understanding of it. But as I've gone through the research, there are some other things that, like I say, that when they wrote the definition, that was based on their experience.
Yes.
And so what happens is when you come back and you go into it, and we just say that God expands your comprehension of it because you've come in contact with some different people. So there's just one part that I want to add to that definition is that all of that in self-awareness, like I said, our culture has brought us to stop with everything simply being focused on you. Everything is focused on you when we look at self-awareness.
Yeah.
But in the definition from the studies that I've done is that we found that there's another part to self-awareness that most people are unaware of, and that is it's an understanding how and why people see you the way they do.
The way they do, yes.
Wow.
See, we hold on to, we understand why we are, we know what we do, why we do what we do, but do you know why people see you the way that they do?
That's good stuff.
So that's part of the definition that I have, is to where you come to understanding, you know what I'm saying, with clarity.
Wow.
Who you are and how and why other people see you the way that they do. So like I said, we just want to add to the definition. We don't want to get to a place to where we just stay stuck. Because as a life coach, guys, as a life coach, and a lot of the people that I've taken through some of the personal development training, we have that definition.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
We have that definition, but as I delve deeper into, the self-awareness, we still weren't able to tap into our potential. We weren't able to tap into being fully effective. And so that lets us know that there was another part to it. And I'm going to cover that, in just a minute. So is there something you want to share back with me on that piece right there that I've shared with you guys already?
Well, before you go any further.
Okay, all right.
I did have that in there.
Oh, wow.
So I just felt led to do that part because I know it's a broader. But thank you so much.
Yes.
The perception
That's good
of
stuff.
how people.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. But you can go ahead. But
That's good stuff. See, and I was talking to someone the other day, about my life or just about me, period.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I know I'm a businessman.
Yes.
I know I have several businesses that I run.
Right.
I know I'm anointed. I know I can hear and see that other people they can't see, but it's other stuff I need to work on myself.
Absolutely.
When it comes to me.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about Gerald.
Yes.
Gerald need to work on stuff. Sometimes my mouth can be slick. Sometimes my attitude can be a little stank sometimes. Sometimes I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes sometimes I can be like that.
Right.
But that's what for me. That's what self-awareness is.
Absolutely.
Being aware of what you doing.
Absolutely.
You got to be aware of that, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm like, if Miss Regina, she's been my friend for so many years, it ain't her fault that somebody else is doing something to me. It ain't her fault.
Absolutely.
All she did was call me and say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
I have no reason to be going off on her. I have no reason to tell her I don't want to talk to you right now. I can't. I just can't do that.
Right. Right.
And the thing about it is, when you start doing that, you have to be aware. Hey, man, you wrong.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. Stop.
Yeah.
Because it ain't her fault. It ain't his fault. It ain't their fault.
Absolutely.
It's something going on with you.
Absolutely.
You need to deal with you.
Right.
And I was telling somebody the other day. I was talking to a friend of mine in Tennessee, and that's what I was telling them. That's where I am in my life.
Absolutely.
Because ministry, man, I'm not worried about it. I like doing ministry, but I'm not worried about it.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot of personal stuff that I'm taking care of, mental stuff that I'm taking care of me, because I know that if I can take care of these things and get over these leaps and bounds and hills and mountains, I'll probably be a much better person.
Absolutely.
And I'm not a bad person now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do need to see some advancement, and I got eyes on the side of my head, so don't mess with me. So.
No, because you already know.
Don't mess with me. I got eyes on the side of my head.
What you're saying is good, because all I hear is accountability. You're taking accountability.
Exactly.
So
exactly,
yeah,
because I know it's some things within me that, hey man, God may not be pleased with that. You need to stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Stop acting like that.
Absolutely.
Stop saying stuff like that. Stop
Absolutely.
thinking about stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You got to get that stuff together. And sometimes people don't quite want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it neither, but I know. But I know when God trying to pull the best out of me.
Absolutely.
I got enough sense to know. Hey man, God trying to pull the best out of you.
Absolutely.
Get that stuff together.
Absolutely.
Stop doing that.
Absolutely.
Go. Yeah, one of y'all go.
Go ahead.
I mean, and with that being said, it leads me to the second point that I wanted to share, right? Because a lot of people say, well, how did you get into self-awareness? Because as I teach my clients and I work with my clients, what I share with them is you are your greatest asset.
Mm-hmm.
You are your greatest asset. It doesn't matter what you're pursuing in life. Your greatest asset is you. And if you're not your best self, which is something that you hear all over the place now, you got to be your best self. Work on becoming and being your best self. And the only way that you can do that is take a deep dive into personal development,
Yes.
which takes you into self-awareness. Because if you can have personal development, but if it don't include a place for self-awareness,
Yes.
you're not going to become that. Because it's the cornerstone of you being the most effective, and it's the cornerstone of you tapping into your greatest potential. Now, I don't know if any of you all read a book. It was by Sean Covey.
I've heard of him.
The 7 Habits of the Most Effective People.
I think
The 7 Habits of the Most Effective People. And there was one place that stood out to me. Out of those 7 steps, he said, first, seek to understand before you seek to be understood.
Ooh, that's good.
See, that's why I told you that outside personal, you know what I'm saying? That outside, other than just being self, you got to seek to understand before you seek to be understood. That's because it helps you to develop right relationships. It helps you to communicate better.
That's right. Yeah.
It helps you
That's
to
right.
be able to aid and come alongside people. And then it also helps you to influence people, because guess what? They now see that you understand them. That's a part of being self-aware. And that's a powerful piece that we need to focus on.
That's real good.
Yeah, that's good.
real good.
That's good.
That's good. I'm almost speechless.
I know.
I'm just playing. But that's really good. Go ahead, Miss Regina.
No, I was saying if you're tuning in, we're talking about self-awareness. And if you would like to call in at any time, the number is at the bottom of the screen, 469-708-8609. So please call in if you want to say hi, if you want to just chime in. And this is a great discussion that we're having.
It is.
So.
If y'all just want to speak to Miss Rosalind, I'm sure she's open to it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she's open to it, or you may have a question for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because it appears she has way more knowledge than I thought she did. So I'm always cracking jokes. I'm always cracking jokes. But I said the phone number is on the screen right there.
Absolutely.
And if y'all want to call in and ask her a question about something, or it may not even be within the topic, the phone lines are open.
Absolutely.
The phone lines are open. So let me ask you this: How did you get to a point and place where you wanted to be a life coach?
I was in a hard spot in my life, and the thing is that I realized that I couldn't sustain myself, and I happened to run into a lady, and she said, but all of your experiences is valuable, and you can package that in order to change people's lives, but at the same time you'll be able to sustain yourself. So I took that deep dive, I took that leap, and that's where I realized that I needed self-awareness though.
Yeah.
That's where I realized it. I'd invested probably about $10,000 into a coaching program. And I was like, I'm not getting no results. I wasn't getting any results.
Yeah.
But other people were calling in. Other people were, shooting back. They were giving results. And I'm like, so what's wrong with me? We'll turn that. And what I had to begin to do was look at myself and all the different things about me that was sabotaging my success. And a lot of times we're not able to discover those. We're not able to discover our sabotagers because guess what? We won't turn the light on ourselves.
Yes.
Wow.
We won't turn the light on ourselves in truth.
Don't want to.
Absolutely.
Don't want to.
We don't want to deal with that. We don't want to deal with the emotions that come with it.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with the accountability. As you said, I got to take responsibility for me being this way. So that's what led me into coaching. But the self-awareness part is what took me deeper into personal development, and that ties along in with my my purpose in ministry is to empower and equip. But I can't make you better if I don't make you better.
Wow. I'm gonna ask you one more question, and I'm gonna ask.
Yes.
So when what are okay? Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Because I was about to ask you about like 20 questions. I just couldn't get them out. What? So what are some of the things that you pray when you get ready to go into like sessions with people and it's a hard case?
When I'm praying for them, I pray for wisdom.
Pray for wisdom.
That's my biggest thing is pray for wisdom and allow me to be able to see them and to take myself out of it. Because so many times when we're coaching, what we attempt to do is we try to teach people instead of hearing them. We're always trying to teach them what we know instead of being open to understand where they are. That goes back to where seek to understand before you seek to be understood. Yeah. So when I get ready to go into those sessions, I'm definitely praying, especially because, like I said, the process that I take them through, I get some information, I ask questions. Now, the only reason that this is a problem, Gerald, and Regina, is that if they are not honest with the questions. If they don't answer the questions honestly, then when I come back, I bring you the information based on the information that you gave me. And so a lot of times, like I said, that's the only thing that I ask people, just be honest. And
why not?
Well, sometimes it's just tough for us to accept
to
that
be
responsibility.
Honest. Yeah.
Not even, if it's difficult for us to be honest with other people.
Yeah.
I get it. It's almost that much more difficult to be honest with ourselves.
I get it.
But that's what I do. I definitely pray, that God would allow me to be able to step back and to really see them so that I can be of an assistant to them.
Okay, your son, he's watching. Okay. So, I mean, go ahead, Miss Regina, because this is interesting to me. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted her to talk some more. So, I like what you said, being accountable, and it's almost like looking at the man in the mirror.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't want to see that, and it's funny, when you were saying that, it's not funny, but I'm just saying, when you give them a list of questions and they're not, I'm like, why not be honest?
Yeah.
Like, do you want the help or not?
Well,
or you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying,
Yeah.
why not?
Well,
Why not be
a
honest?
lot of times, like I said, it's because of different things that are going on in people. Like I
Yeah.
said, because I may be afraid of how you're going to respond to me. I may be afraid of how, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I've experienced in life. And so when that's there, you have to allow the Holy Spirit to continue to work with them. And eventually, like I said, He give me wisdom to draw and to tap into, and they will expose it.
So are you saying you have to use your gift sometimes?
Oh, I definitely have
Yeah,
to.
you
I
have
mean,
to, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, my
Okay.
I have to use my gift. That, like I said, it wouldn't work without my gift. I don't believe that we could truly get sufficient return or results if I didn't use my gift.
Gotcha.
Like I said, the gift is to empower people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's to empower people. So
Yeah.
yeah, I do have to use my gift.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
I have to use my gift.
That makes a lot of sense. This is interesting. This definitely gonna be a part 2 that's gonna come out of this.
But you know what?
Definitely.
You know what, Gerald? You said the just straight up raw truth, right? And the thing is that based on the research that I've done, and the research was not done with just any and everybody. It was actually done with leaders, people that are in leadership, people that know their stuff, supposedly. But they don't know themselves. Because in the research, you would be surprised to know that only 10 to 15% of the leaders were actually aware.
With your apostolic sense.
Can
Good
you,
God Almighty.
Can you imagine the people that are leading us that's proclaiming to be when they're actually not? They're proclaiming to be these people, and that's not the thought. We just being straight out.
We just being honest. We're not throwing stones at nobody.
Absolutely.
Of course we're not.
But if somebody said, well, that's the research, well, everything else you do is off of research.
Exactly.
Everything else. But the research says that only 10 to 15% of those that are in leadership are actually aware. And what you think happened with the other 85%?
Wow.
Other 90%.
Wow.
And as I get further into this, you're going to see why that is
Wow.
important, why I'm sharing with you the importance of that. Because when we look at that, we will be able, when you really understand it, you will be able to understand why we're experiencing so many things that we experience in society. And I was trying, because I know that you're a man of God, I know you're a woman of God, and I said, God, how am I going to bring this home to the word, to the body of Christ? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to bring, because let's just say, for instance, okay, we go get in ministry. If majority of my leaders in ministry are unaware, if they don't go through the personal development, they don't get through this part of really
got to deal with
looking
it.
at and dealing with themselves and knowing how to manage themselves, guess what? They destroy the rest of the body.
Yes.
Wow.
They destroy the rest of the body. So we want to blame it on the devil, and I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to say it's because we failed to follow those that God has put in leadership to help develop us, to help us to become the person that He called us to be. But like I said, you're going to understand, as we continue, I want to make sure that I'm still open for questions so that I can share, because I got it laid out today.
The phone lines are still open, y'all.
Yeah.
If y'all want to call in and ask her a question about anything, y'all just heard it. She said she ready. So if y'all want to call in, yeah, she ready. Not me. No, her. That lady right there.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
but
Wow.
but it's important, y'all, that we deal with ourselves when we just going through life, or when you just think it's all good and deep down and all along it ain't.
Absolutely.
It ain't. I mean, truth be told, some of us we think we doing good because we got $100 in our pocket.
Absolutely.
Baby, $100 that ain't nothing.
Absolutely.
That's nothing. I mean, or you think you got your bank account look nice. Those things are good. It make you feel good, if anything. But I mean, but at the end of the day, I think it's good, when you start dealing with yourself.
Absolutely.
When you start dealing with yourself, because at the end of the day, I've learned, over through the years that I have became the best person that I can possibly be because I've learned how to treat other people.
Come on.
I've learned how to treat other people.
Absolutely.
And the ones that wasn't treating me right, I learned how to disconnect myself from them.
Absolutely.
I learned how to get away from them.
Absolutely.
And then that's when I was able to give the best me.
Absolutely.
to my wife.
Absolutely.
I was able to give my best self to my friend, to Regina.
Yeah.
I was able to give my best self to, I don't have many friends, but maybe 3 or 4, maybe at the most, sometimes. But I was able to give my best self.
Right.
Yeah.
Once I learned who was for me and who wasn't for me. Once I learned, what was in me, that God wasn't pleased with it. Exactly like I said, so y'all go ahead.
But I mean, when we go back and look at what you're saying, though, being able to give my best self, I was driving here and I said, this is off topic, God. This is off topic. I said, well, you dropping it, and it dropped in my spirit very heavily. And it was like, are you a toxic person?
Yeah.
It's easy for us to look at other people and things that they do,
For real.
and we call them toxic.
But what about you?
Absolutely. And see, when you don't really go through this process and allow somebody to help you walk through to really look at what you do and how you do, are you the toxic person?
Yeah.
And so that was another topic that just dropped in there. So when you don't have self-awareness, when you're not fully aware, and I kind of don't like using self-awareness, because that was our attention getter in order to get people getting it, because that's what we understand.
Yeah.
Of course.
I like really going with awareness, because I'm gonna talk to you about two sides of the coin. Because it's got two sides to the coin, and most of the time when we just deal with that side, then we guess what? We limit our ability to be able to change, to impact. We limit our ability to be able to rise to that next level that everybody keep talking about. Oh, we going to the next level. Not if we don't do this, you ain't going.
No, if you don't deal with yourself.
Absolutely.
You don't deal with that bad attitude.
Absolutely. And we don't want people
Yeah.
to do that. I did a Change Me conference probably about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And in the Change Me conference, what God shared with me is this. When you show up, now you experience something totally different with me when I come to you. He may experience something else, right? But at the same time, guess what? Both of y'all right.
Yeah.
Oh, did we get that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
I
of them
understand.
right.
I understand.
Now, so when somebody tell me about what I experienced with him, you gonna say that ain't her, cause I've never seen it.
Exactly.
You gonna say that, and when somebody talk about what you've experienced with me, oh, now she ain't like that. Why? Because that's not what they experienced.
Exactly.
But all in all, guess what? All of that's me. And
Yeah.
when we can't accept that, and when we don't acknowledge that, I do this in these situations. I don't know what is triggering me, but that person had a bad experience with me. That doesn't mean you're going to have a bad experience.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
because of the conditions in which we're interacting in the, in the state of the relationship. But it doesn't take away from that's me too. And you've got to come to a place that that's me too. Because like I said,
For
by
real.
the time we show up and we say it ain't me, but it was you.
It was, yeah.
Can you really step back and say, was it you?
Question for the people that are
That is a good, I like that.
Yes.
No, go ahead. Y'all keep talking. Somebody's asking a question in the comments.
I was thinking about the man in the mirror, and like it was at you, because there are times where even now, because I'm older, when something like if something doesn't go right, I'm always going to God and I'm like, well, Lord, if something. How can I put this? If there's a beef with something or there's a disagreement, I always look back and I say, well, God, what did I do wrong in that situation? Not saying that I did, but how could I have better served that person or better, helped in that situation? So it's basically looking at the man in the mirror, like, how is there something else I could have done, or was it my tone, or was it my attitude? So being aware, and it's, to me, that's where discernment comes in also. If you praying and you going to God is going to show you, what's going on. And some people are like, well, I don't know. Oh, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
You said, no, you know what you did.
You know what you did.
Yeah.
And it's like having that aha moment. You have to look at that man in the mirror and the bad attitude, the second guessing, or the tone. And to me, with me, it's my tone. And when I found out, okay, it's my tone.
Yeah.
What I said was true.
Yes.
But it's my tone.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, what steps, if you are coaching someone, what are the steps for self-awareness? Like, what do you?
When a person like you said, got to go into it, and we got to be honest with ourselves. That's the first, like I said, that's the first thing, is being honest. Now, remember what you said just a few minutes ago, Regina, is that I look in the mirror, and that's what we do in self-awareness and personal development. We look into this mirror, and a lot of times we will acknowledge that that's me. We'll acknowledge I got this bad attitude. We'll acknowledge that it's been exposed and revealed. So what my next step for you is, what are we going to do about it?
What are we going to do about it? Yes.
What are we going to do about it? So that's the next step in that, in getting you to that place of really being truthful with yourself. And then guess what? Now you got to go out and acknowledge it to somebody else. And see, we don't want that part.
Yeah.
We'll let you, I got you. You revealed it to me. I'm okay. No. Now we got to go fix it. Why do we go fix it? Because what we want to do is we want to go to the next level.
Yeah.
We want to impact. We want to change people's lives. And there are going to be some people that's not going to accept your apology, but guess what? You still required to go there.
Yeah.
You still required to go there.
Yeah.
So the question is, as far as I said, with that, like I said, we could go down a whole list, but that's one step that if we don't get that part right, there's no need for me to go to the next part. If you're not willing to put in the effort, put in the time, take the accountability for what we have discovered about you and change it, then there's no need, because guess what you're going to get? You're going to keep getting the same results that you were getting before. People are going to keep experiencing you the same way that they've experienced you before. And if you truly want to impact their lives and you truly want to build or even salvage, have great relationships, or even be productive in business, just like I could have a business partner don't like the way that they come across at all. But I need them on my team.
Yeah.
I need them on my team. So guess what? I got to figure out in me what I can do in order to bridge that together. So like I said, when I look in the mirror and see like you say, your tone. So do you change your tone now? Are you conscious of your tone?
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. You have to be conscious of it, and then what? Act on it. So that's the next step that we'd have to do in order to get you into that self-awareness.
And you know what I was thinking of?
You got a blue shirt on like me, so yeah.
I know.
All right. I just want to tell you that.
Yeah, because I saw that. I was like, we kind of in sync, even with the logo. I'm like, the logo. I'm looking back here like this is an actual. I'm sorry.
It ain't that. I
It
promise
was
you,
right
it ain't.
there. I'm sorry. I know the engineer's like, wow.
So y'all tripping
Y'all
today.
tripping today. Do you come across people where they're aware that they've done it, but they don't know how to attack it, simply because they haven't seen it done in their family, or it can be generational.
Absolutely.
It's something that they're used to, and they don't maybe think that there's a way out. But do you come across people where?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I came across myself. I came across myself not thinking that, and a lot of times we don't want to expose, but I came from a place of inferiority. I came from a place of rejection. And in rejection, what you do is you learn to self-reject. And so that right there was one of the things that I had to break out of.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that, but guess what I could not do? I couldn't learn it by myself. See, we keep trying to do things on our own. And I know people have injured us, and I know, but everybody's not out to injure you.
Yeah.
No,
There are
everybody ain't
some
out.
people that are willing to help you, but if you are stuck, guess what? You'll stay stuck because you don't have new information. There's nothing that's breaking that cycle to show you another way out. So that's what, when I run into people like that, I try to make sure that I'm introducing those different things to them, but I have to bring it to them in a way to where they can comprehend it and where I can at least get an entry inside. So that's how we get that.
So let me ask you this. So someone in the comments they ask a question.
Okay.
They're a little bit, I know who they is. They're a little bashful, and they don't want to call in.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
So they was basically asking what is something that they can expect from like a first consultation from you, a first visit.
A first visit, a first consultation with me is what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to allow you the opportunity to share with me what it is that you want to fix in your life. Okay. And the other thing that I give you, and like I said, it's universal. It's not something that, that's just specifically to my personal development training, but it's something that's done with all coaches. What we do is we give you the wheel of life. You may be telling me that this is what you're dealing with, But when we go through the wheel of life, and if you answer the questions correctly, it shows me the areas that I need to pinpoint that will affect that area without you really having to focus on it.
And
So,
everything is confidentiality.
absolutely, absolutely. No, I would say everything is confidential. Like I said, that all of those forms are signed straight off the top. You know, we go into that.
Okay.
We make sure that we get clarity, and we have an understanding, and that we're in agreement. They know what to expect from me, and I tell them what I expect from them.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So
We still
hopefully that answered the question.
No, and you did, and we still talking about self-awareness, y'all.
Absolutely.
We still talking about
Absolutely.
self-awareness. It's kind of veering away, but it's all good. No.
Absolutely.
It's all
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Miss Regina.
No,
got
I'm
something?
just basking in this. I'm enjoying
Hey,
this.
what
Because I'm already talking and pouring out. So I really thank God for the self-awareness, but the awareness part. Can you tell us where people can find you on social media?
On social media, on Facebook, they can actually go to Rosalind A. Davis on Facebook. And like I said, just DM me there. They can go to send me an email through manifesting62@gmail.com. And I'll respond to that, to them that way. And they can also go to Messenger, like I said, in Messenger.
Okay.
And that's how they can reach me right now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense. That's pretty easy. Again, what's that email again?
Manifesting62@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yes.
So if y'all would like to partake in her business, you need some help with whatever, you need to just talk. That's the one. That's the one. She can tell you what's going on.
I mean,
You know.
because if you get in there, once you get into it and you really start seeing progress,
Yeah.
and you start seeing yourself overcome some of the barriers that
Yeah.
you were stuck on, that place of limitation, just like I was sharing with you guys, you know what? I'm not going down. I'm taking this opportunity. I'm going to do these things because
Exactly.
this is what takes me to that next level. And you got to have somebody to push you there.
Yeah.
Because if you're not used to that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to stay there.
Yeah.
You're going to stay there.
So let me ask you this right here. Do you think God put people in our life to provoke things in us that He don't want in us?
At times, because I see two reasons that God allows us to come into people's lives, or people come into our experience. Number one, I'm there to assist them, or number two, they're there to assist me. Can I be open to that? Because in
Yeah.
order for me to assist you, guess what? I probably will have to provoke some things, but guess what? We have this tendency to sugarcoat.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid that you're no longer going to talk to me if I really tell you what
Yeah.
the problem is. If I really tell you that this is what's going on with you, are you really open to that? And
Exactly.
that's why self-awareness is necessary in personal development, because
Exactly.
we don't get that coming up. So I don't know how to handle my emotions. And that's part of self-awareness, is being able to manage your emotions
yeah.
under all circumstances.
Yeah.
I don't like you, but guess what? I need you.
I need you.
So guess what? I am not about to allow
don't
this to
like
get in
you.
the way. I don't
like
like the
what
way
you
you handle
said.
stuff. I don't like the way you
But
deal with
it's
people.
worked for me.
Absolutely. It doesn't mean that I compromise
Yeah.
my integrity at all. Because
Yeah.
if it start pushing my integrity, guess what? I know it's time for me to let it go.
Yeah.
If it start
makes
pushing
sense.
me to step outside, then yeah.
That makes
But yeah,
sense.
people come in our lives in order to provoke those things. But the question, like I said, is always this: are you ready to receive that? And sometimes it may take a week or two, and that's why I pray for people when I do share with them those things. Because if God can speak to Abimelech,
Yeah.
He can
Yeah.
speak to them in their sleep.
Exactly.
And so that's just how I handle
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else. Yeah. 'Cause I'm trying to think of something
Well,
else.
I'm gonna share with you all the how to discover where you are.
Sure.
Like I said, in the research, as we went down through the research, what she shared with us in the research, and what they did is they went through over 800 different researches that was already done, and that's how we came up with these 4 archetypes. And you can kind of plug yourself in, because when I had an event. And almost everybody fell into one category except for one individual. But there's 4. And we went through some things. And like I said, that's something that I go through in the program as well. The first one is a seeker. That person that is low that's why I said two sides of the coin. Let me back up with that first, with the two sides. The two sides of the coin is that you have internal self-awareness. That's the part that we all aware of right now that we've looked at the definition.
Yeah.
But the external is, like I said, is how people see you, how people respond to you, and all those things.
Yeah.
So you got to have both sides of that. And when we look at that, I use both of those in order to measure where somebody is. Because if you're a seeker, that means you don't know. When you have low internal, low external, you really don't know where you're going. Now, how many of you ran against somebody just don't know where they're going? Every time you turn around, they in this, and then they got that, and then they got that. Well, I really don't know what I want in life. That's because they really don't have that external and internal awareness that they need in order for them to be able to do what they need to do. The second one is a pleaser. That's the group that majority of us fell into. Is that, guess what? We will do for other people, even at the expense of hurting ourselves. Absolutely.
People pleasing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now we may say we're not that. But if you look at our lifestyle, you'll watch it. Watch the decisions that you make. The decisions is always to support them, and then here you are, you're lacking. And you don't have that support. I was in the pleaser for, when I said majority of my life, and when I went through the training, I began to know, okay, because you're a pleaser, that means that you are low self-internal. You're not looking at your own self-esteem. You're not looking at your own confidence. You're not looking at your own value. You're basing your value on what somebody else has said or your environment and all those different things. And because I did that, those are the areas that I began to focus on. But high external, I was aware of how I affected other people, so I did certain things to make sure that I didn't affect them in a negative way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's that person, that's the pleaser. And so a lot of times, like I said, we can use the word of God, and I love that, but we've got to be able to work. Because there are some things that's not written in there.
It's some stuff that's not written.
And that's
People
why
tell you,
that's why
it's everything. It's not.
No, it's not. That's why he gave us apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, because there are people that he downloads stuff to that has the ability to help you to get to that next level and become that. And then the third one is that introspector. Now, the introspector is that person that has gone through all the training. Man, I've done this thing. I know what my goals are. I know where I'm going. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
But you're not aware of how, just like you said, the way that I say things, the way that I do things, how it's preventing that next person that's trying to come up, how it's getting in the way of the relationship, because all your focus is on yourself. All your focus is on yourself. That's what that introspector is. And then the aware person is a person that can take constructive feedback and put it to work.
Wow.
I can handle feedback.
Sometimes I can't.
That was.
Sometimes I for the most part I can, but sometimes I'm like.
That's the part I had to start working on.
Give me a few minutes.
That's the part I start working on, because those are your two most powerful tools in order for you to go to the next level. Feedback. Now, I did that with my son in a program when I first started. And, man, I was excited. I thought I had this program down pat. Man, I got all my kids. I done learned all this stuff. And so I get this phone call, and I have it, and we chit-chat, and then he started going down the thing. All of me broke up. I was messed up because I asked for feedback, but I was still looking for validation. I was still looking for approval. So, see, that's where this self-awareness, and I could have stayed stuck in that place. But because I've been in this here training, this teaching and coaching is what I do, guess what I was able to do? I learned how to take the feedback, unsolicited, blindsided feedback, and begin to build myself into a better person. So when you learn how to take the unsolicited feedback instead of the ones that you say, oh, this is favorable, no. The best feedback is those that tell you something that is contrary to the way that you believe about yourself. Because it positions you to grow and to learn.
Because you think you have it all going on.
Absolutely.
And you don't.
And some will hit you, or some will show up. You like, dang, I thought I was ready.
Absolutely.
You're not.
And you know what?
And you did it. I mean, it looked good.
It looked good.
But it can be better. We all can be better.
Exactly.
But it's going to take you focusing in and looking at yourself and saying, what can I do better instead of what can he do better?
Exactly.
What can she do better?
Yeah.
What can I do better?
And you know what? The best person to give you feedback is young kids. Young kids.
Well, they gonna tell
filter.
You. They gonna tell you the truth, boy.
And teenagers. And my 17-year-old, because I'm thinking I had it going on in another area, and then he just with his deep voice, no, Ma. No. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, did this and this. And I was like, oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
I was like, wow,
didn't
do I
think about
present
that.
myself like that sometimes? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you have to agree with me.
And all along, you probably didn't think he was paying attention.
I know.
You didn't think he was paying attention to that. He was like,
So the best person, even engineer with your kids, the feedback, they are brutally honest.
yeah.
And it will make you think. And I'm like, well, gee, I didn't know I was coming out like that. I didn't know I was presenting myself like that. And then so I be thanking my son. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
because I had just like Miss Regina said, she had to work on her tone. And guess what? That was something I had to work on too. My tone and my delivery
Absolutely.
when I get ready to say stuff.
Yeah.
And every now and then I still have to sit here and say, all right, man, hold on. Let's just wait for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's wait. Bring it down.
Pray.
Let's wait for a little bit. And especially if something done kind of got up under my skin a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because that's what Jesus did. He waited till the cool of the day. See, that sound good. Like you said, it sound good.
Yeah.
But I said, I you know what? Sometimes I have to wait. I'm like, man, all right, just hold on. Just hold on.
Yeah.
And just wait till you kind of calm down.
Right.
Or wait until they calm down, or wait until the situation has
Yeah.
kind of simmered down a little bit. And then you can go to them and tell them, or either ask them or talk to them about what you need to talk to them about. Because chances are, if you go to them while it's on and popping, man, it's not going to be received well.
Absolutely.
Somebody going to get mad.
Absolutely.
If not both of y'all.
Absolutely.
And then what did you accomplish? Nothing.
Even though it may some of the stuff they
Yeah.
may have said would have been truthful.
Yeah.
But it's the way.
Yeah. I mean, you would have got misunderstood.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's where I've learned, man, just hold on. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just give it some time, or either maybe call them back tomorrow if you got
Absolutely.
to. Call them back tomorrow. Maybe call them next week.
Yeah.
If you have to.
Yeah.
It depends on how sensitive the situation is. And I've had to learn that. I'm like, dang, man, I didn't realize all of that was in me. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Gerald, the thing is and Regina, is that we have to really set aside intentional time for this. It's not, say, oh, I got that information and then I just kind of blow it off and I move to something else. No, it requires intentionality. And then you've got to create a plan.
That's right.
On how to get there, because it's not, you're not going to get all of it in one day.
You're not.
Because when I start working on this and this other thing show up, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? No, we're going to keep moving, because every time you start uncovering one thing and exposing, because we're so complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you start exposing this one part, something else is going to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else. So it's going to be an ever learning thing. And I tell people all the time, personal development is not something that you jump into and to do 3 months, 6 months, or even a year. You've got to find a place to where you be able to apply this, and this becomes a lifeline for you.
Yes.
So where you are constantly,
for
it's
real.
not necessarily that you have to pay somebody all the time. You may have to pay somebody to get you started, to show you how, in order to set this up. And, just for accountability, you may have to do that. But this needs to be something that you set up on a regular basis to, once a week I'm doing self-reflection. And then guess what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
I got 5 people that I'm asking for feedback from.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
For
you
real.
need to sell it yourself. I saw you up here doing this, and but you told me this is the thing you're working on. What are you doing to do it? So, like I said, it has to be something intentional. It's not, and self-awareness, like I said, is that pillar that helps you to begin to rise to that next level.
Yeah, and I've had to use that scenario. Good doctors, they practice.
Yeah.
They practice. Sometimes it take them 10 years, or sometimes it take them a little longer.
Absolutely.
But good doctors, they practice. And practice makes perfect. You may not get it perfect. You may not get it all right. You may not dot all the I's and cross all the T's. But you got to practice.
You get results.
You got to practice to get results, and then you're like, okay, let's move on to the next thing.
Absolutely.
But you got to try it. You got to try it. Go ahead, Miss Regina.
Oh, no. I just want you to continue.
Well, I would say those
stuff.
were the things that I wanted to share. Coming on, given the opportunity to come on, and just share. Personal development and self-awareness are going to be key for you going into the second half of the year. I tell people I'm loading up a plan for the second half. Because there's going to be a halftime show in just a little bit.
That's
there are
good.
some things that are getting
That's
ready
good
to
stuff.
pop off in our lives.
Yeah.
We got to be prepared for it.
That's
we
good
got to
stuff.
be prepared for it. So
That's
those
good.
are the things that I wanted to
That's
share.
good.
And like
That's
I said,
good.
I am just super grateful. I'm super
Of
grateful.
course,
I'm
of
super
course,
grateful.
of course, of course. Most of the time, Miss Regina, when we have topics like this, don't nobody want to call in. they don't want to call in because we messing with their stuff. Because we messing with their stuff and we stepping on their toes. And I get it, and I understand. I wouldn't want food with it neither. But sometimes, you got to deal with this stuff,
Yeah, I was gonna
especially
say
when
that.
you want to be the best you that you can possibly be.
Absolutely.
Self-awareness, dealing with yourself, getting you together, being the best you can possibly be, cutting people off.
Yeah.
Stop dealing with people that you shouldn't be dealing with in the first place,
absolutely.
especially when you know they're not no good for you or they don't care nothing about what you got going on.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna ask you a question.
Sure.
So how do you determine that? Because a lot of people stay in stuff longer than they should. So how do you determine when it's time for you to cut somebody off and when it's time for you to move to the next place?
Well, I most of the times it's I can see when I'm not getting a deposit. When I'm no longer getting the deposit from them that I once received, because in return I started changing. I started changing my mental state.
Okay.
I started changing my ways.
Okay.
Or else I started withdrawing myself
Yeah.
because I was working on myself. And then through discernment, like you just said,
Yeah.
I sat back and I watched how they how they started treating me, how they started dealing with me, because they thought something was wrong with me.
Absolutely.
In return, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm just working on me. That's all.
Absolutely.
But you don't have to treat me like that. But then I see how you do it. So I'm like, okay, that means that's it.
Okay. Awesome. What about you, Ms. Regina?
While he was talking, I was thinking, for me, I'm one of them ones that give people chances after chance.
Yeah.
And I usually let them go, or there are times where God will just speak to me and be like, you just need to remove yourself. Is when I just feel, if they've hurt me so bad I know it's not good, but I give people chances. And I just give them chance after chance. And to a point where if I feel that they've hurt me that bad, where I can't, or they trigger me, and then I'm like, you know what? You triggered me real bad. And then there was a couple of times where if he's had to say, hey, I see how this person is doing you, where he's had to come and I just won't let go.
Right. Okay.
And he said, hey, I really feel I don't like how they're doing this. I don't like how they're doing that. And I think that's something I may need to work on, because I give people chances, and it's other people that's telling me, nah, I think you need to leave them alone, and I'm trying to hang out for dear life.
Yeah.
Trying to rescue people. But I think with me, when it gets to like a disrespectful state, then I let them go, where I'm like, nah, you really disrespected me, even though they've done it. But when I feel that I've been really, really disrespectful, then I'm letting them go.
Okay. And why you all was answering, like I said, because there are some things as far as in my life, as far as letting people go. I tend to hold on because of the experiences that I've had, and I don't want them to experience that. But at some point, what happens for me is that when they decide that it's all about them,
Yeah.
when it's no longer us,
Yeah.
and there's no reciprocation there, it's time to move on. And so many people stay stuck in places where they go, just like we was talking earlier, empty. Until you're completely empty,
Yeah.
and then they move on. But you got to be able to recognize
Yeah.
that prior to them leaving you.
Yeah.
Prior to you being empty. And that was the place that I had struggled with. But like I said, coming to this place and now knowing, it's not going to benefit me. But I'm okay telling you that, though.
Yeah.
This is not going to benefit you or I. And so that's when, moving into that place of letting things go.
So would you, I'm sorry.
No, I would, as she was talking, and I was like, I think that's something that I may need to work on, because I can be depleted and I'll still hold on. because I'm trying to rescue them, and I don't want them to go through what I went through. Yes. But then it's something about them triggering me, and if they're disrespectful, and then even though that is a sign of disrespect, you know, when I feel and then I let them go. So I think that's something that
And then we have to build ourselves back up.
Yeah.
Then we have to build ourselves back up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you? Once you let that person go, do you have to? Would you say you have to get that type of attitude? Like, I don't care what you think about me.
Well, I do have to get that, but going back to the self-awareness part, okay, what they think about me, is that something I need to deal with? That prevents, you know what I'm saying, prevent the next person from me experiencing the same thing with the next person.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not caught up in it because you said it. I'm listening and I'm paying attention because it may very well be a thing that I need to work on, that I don't experience this same thing with the next person.
With the next person. With you. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of you making us deal with us.
Yeah,
you making us
really
deal with us
because I'm like,
golly.
I need to come up in that area.
I thought I was all right with that.
And then there are times where God will tell me, let them go. I'm sitting there hanging out for dear life, and Lord just saying, let them go.
Yeah.
Let them go, and I do that. Still hurt that I have to let them go.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because of that attachment. You know, we've attached ourselves. And it's just like when you cut, you know, a limb off, you know, it's still going to affect you because, you know, you've been there for some time. And so, it definitely hurts, and you got to go through that healing.
Yeah, it's been times when the Lord will speak to me and he'll tell me straight up, hey, you know, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what you talking about? You know, I don't like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I said a few hours later, he'll start telling me some stuff about me.
Absolutely.
And that's where said I wasn't gonna get it. That's where me as the ministry side of me, that's when it's time for me to deal with me. Absolutely. It's slow down and deal with me and stop. You don't always have to have a word for everybody.
Thank
you. You don't have to have a word for everybody. You're not a genie.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, let me say this to you real quick, right? Because if you give a word constantly, when have they had time to absorb and to, you know what I'm saying, walk in what you already gave them?
Exactly.
Because every time you turn around, I got a new word, but you haven't developed.
You haven't even developed this.
You haven't even, you know what I'm saying, positioned yourself to be able to receive that. So that's a sign for us to step over and guess what? Take care of ourselves sometimes. Don't have a word.
Exactly.
Don't have a word out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, most definitely.
Yeah, I kind of stopped that too.
No, I had to stop people from. I had to stop people from doing that. No, I had to stop people from doing that. You know, because people used to reach out. Is the Lord saying anything? Yeah, go fast and pray. That's what He's saying. No, I don't say that, but it was like that, and I had to literally stop people from doing that because at the end of the day, who was getting drained? Me.
Instead of going to God for themselves.
Go to God for yourself.
Wow.
He'll talk to you just like He talk to me.
If you build the same type of relationship.
Exactly. You let him hear. Who that have he that have the ear, let him hear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean that's like the producer. He ain't in ministry. None of that. But God talked to him.
Absolutely.
God helps him to understand things on his level.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, that's what that was about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for real.
And his life reflects that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we pay attention. We just don't say.
We
pay attention. We just don't say.
You know, it's like we see.
We pay attention. We just don't
pay
say
attention.
nothing.
We just don't. We just observe a lot.
So you ready to close it out, or you?
I'm still like downloading. Thank you so much.
Y'all can
we'll
get
probably
ready
have
for
a
a part
second
2.
one. Yeah.
Y'all can get ready for a part 2 without a doubt.
Because now you got me thinking. I'm like,
my mind is kind of like doing this.
But I just thank God for that. I really thank God because now
stuff.
it's good stuff, and it's something that I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I had it handled in this area, and you just kind of made me think in a good way.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate that.
I thought I was. I thought I had it, but all along I'm like, man, I'm getting there. I ain't even there. I'm just getting there.
Well, before she closed, can I share one thing?
Sure.
And this is, like I said, because God gave me something the other day, and what He said is that righteous connections Everywhere that you saw that people were connected properly, there was an explosion of the glory of God in their lives. Paul and Silas, the foundation shook. You know, I think it was Peter and John, the crippled man got up and walked. Anytime that you're connected with somebody righteously,
Yeah,
there's going to be explosion of the glory of God.
that's right.
Amen.
So that's what my expectation is today.
Amen. We're going to end it
That's
with
good.
that one. That's a good
That's
one. Great
good.
word. Great word. Thank
So,
you.
Hold on,
Thank
hold
you.
on before we close it out. Hold on. So let me and I'm gonna we close it out, but I'm gonna let you close it out. So you can look right in that camera. Hold on, I'm finna give it to you. Hold on. I'm gonna let you close it out. I'm gonna let you look right in that camera, and I want you to say something to somebody that has a bad attitude, but they trying to work on themselves, but they keep stumbling.
Okay.
What would you say to that person?
Okay, for the person that has a bad attitude, but you really want to change your life, my suggestion to you is that you connect with somebody and be open about where it is that you're going and what you experience. And then also, when you connect with them, take the advice. Take the advice. A lot of times we discover those things that are going on, and we discover that we have a bad attitude, but we won't be open about it. So I want you to find someone that is willing to come alongside you and help you get to that next level. But you got to be willing to put in the work. But if you put in the work, I can guarantee you that you're going to get results.
All right. That's it, y'all. Peace in the Middle East. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a point.
Wake up and smile, 'cause it's been a while. It's been like a whole day since I stopped so you could hold me. With this child awaits, strong in the faith. Lord, you are the refuge that I can't wait to get to, 'cause I can't let a day go, can't let a day go by without thanking you for the joy that you bring to my life. And there's something about the way your sun shines on my face. It's a love so true, I can never get enough of you. This feeling can't be wrong. I'm about to get my worship on. Take me away. It's a beautiful day.